Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In this one we have something special. We have the Birdies raised garden bed. This is the 29-inch tall raised bed, and we're gonna build this one so we can go ahead and demo this old one. And you can see in here we have some potatoes, some overwintered peppers, and there used to be some onions on the left side, but just the state of this raised bed being in close contact with water and the compost is starting to break down. So what we'll do is we'll build this raised bed, and then we'll do the hugelkultur method, which is just taking anything you have really, your compost, your logs, your branches, and these are all the branches from the citrus trees that we removed in the previous video. And then what we'll do is we'll use those as the base layer of the new raised bed, and then we'll put in compost and then layer it with some topsoil or potting soil. And we'll see how it goes from there, but it's a very nice method if you don't have a whole lot of soil, so that you can actually save money, so you're not spending a ton of money trying to fill the entire raised bed. Putting this raised bed together is really simple, really easy. Like I said, it's just a couple bolts and a few nuts, and then once we get this all tightened down, we'll take a look at it and see how it is. Alright, this is what the raised bed looks like. I still have a couple more screws to put in on the sides, but overall, really easy to put together. Just a few screws, a couple panels that are already formed for you, and this thing is pretty customizable. You can do 3 lengths of paneling. I only put 2 and then the corners, so you can really set this up to whatever your needs are for your garden. But this is how I'm gonna leave it. This is actually pretty wide. If you take a look, good amount of space on both sides to actually do stuff. And all those branches, like I said, from the citrus trees, we're gonna go ahead and throw in here, and that'll give us some room so that we don't need to fill this all with soil. But honestly, I think we're gonna need some more soil, because this thing is not even halfway filled and its volume is way smaller than our new raised bed. So we'll see once we demo this and then put this raised bed in its position. We'll see how much soil we need, but it looks like we're gonna need quite a lot. But so far, pretty happy with the quality of the product. It doesn't bend too easily. It seems like it's gonna last a while, and surprisingly the edges aren't cutting you, or at least they're not cutting me. We do have this black vinyl, which is kind of the edge guard, which we'll put on the edge at the end and just wrap it around the entire edging, and that's actually a nice touch. But let's continue on and get this bed over into position. And now I just want to get this new spot prepared, so I'm taking out the overwintered peppers and just shaking off the extra soil. I'm going to make a video later on how to set up your overwintered peppers for success as we go into spring. And just continuing on, I'm trying to use the pitchfork to remove some of the potatoes that are growing in here. There actually isn't as many as I thought there were, but I will use some of these as seed potatoes once we get the raised bed complete. There are some poles that are pretty deep in the ground as well, which I'll have to remove, but the soil in here isn't too bad. And now we're just going to go ahead and demo this old raised bed. You can see I'm just trying to knock off all of the wood, and then we'll remove the metal poles and we'll actually reuse those later in the video. While I was digging, found some more potatoes. Little red ones. Look at these. They're all over the place. They're a little too small for me to want to cook them, but yeah, I got a whole bunch. So I'll take these and use them as seed potatoes to grow more. And now is the time when we're going to go ahead and fill this raised bed up. Now that it is positioned, we're going to go ahead, throw in the citrus tree branches, stumps, leaves, all that stuff to give it some volume on the bottom, so that we can actually save space and save our garden soil or our good topsoil for this raised bed. Alright, this is about as far as we've gotten filling up the raised bed from Birdies. You can see that it is quite a lot more. I would say we only have a couple more inches to fill, and so to fill this, we're going to use this Sunshine Mix number 4. This has the mycorrhiza. It is the additive, so this potting soil is going to be a little bit more expensive. This is about $36, but you can see it is a big bundle, and it will expand a little bit once we get some soil, which is good because, or once it gets some rain. which is good because as soon as we start to water this is going to sink down a little bit, and the mycorrhiza that is in the soil will actually start to break down the trees that I have put at the bottom as the base for this raised bed. So we'll go ahead, get this filled up, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Like I said, this Sunshine Mix number 4 is about $36. You don't have to spend this much money on garden soil. You can grow in a lot of different stuff, but I want this raised bed to start off right for this season, and I want it to last. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this mix and see where we get to by the end. Alright, so we're all filled in. Like I said before, this is going to kind of shrink as it gets watered and all the stuff starts to break down. So we'll have to add soil throughout the years. But this is a great start. You can see I've added these poles. I do need one more for that corner. And these are just recycled posts that I had in the backyard. And the reason why I have them in the corners is because I'll be able to use it as a mini greenhouse, or I can use it as a insect netting if I decide to plant some cabbages or lettuce, something in here. So that is a nice addition. But we also have this green, I guess you could call it cattle panel. It's not really cattle panel, just like a security kind of fencing in case you have dogs or small dogs. And so what I can do is I can actually cut some of this up and put it on the back side. And then if I put peas or some kind of like string beans, they'll be able to go up and trellis onto the fence as an addition. So I'll probably have some flowers, some pollinators, and then have lettuce, and then maybe the potatoes I took out earlier, and then I'll have beans on the backside. We want to utilize as much of this raised bed because it does, like I said, take up a lot of space. So we want to use as much of it as possible. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.